And welcome back to Washington Commanders Insider. Today, we are looking at some keys to this game coming up Sunday against the Carolina Panthers. And so, if you have not heard already, the Washington Commanders are going into this game a bit banged up on the defensive line. Jonathan Allen is been out, it looks like, for the season, but also, too, Dorrance Armstrong is going to be out with a rib injury as well. And so, look, that is pretty big going into this game, especially for the Commanders who are wanting to clean up some things defensively. And I think one of the key things that could help the Commanders defensively in this particular contest with the Panthers is actually going to be their offense. And so, what do I mean by that? I think that with Jaden Daniels, with the way that this offense has been able to get things going as far as scoring points and things like that, it is going to help the defense if the Carolina Panthers are going to be chasing after the Commanders for points. In fact, I was looking at Locked On Commanders, and one of the statistics that I found very interesting here is that the Carolina Panthers like to run the football a lot. But once they pretty much get down in games, then them running the football, it is just like the run pass balance is just it's astonishing with the stats. I think that, in a half, I think that the Carolina Panthers like maybe rush the ball like 2 or 3 times for that half if they're trying to catch up and get some points. And so I think that what is going to happen here is that if the offense is humming for the Commanders and the Carolina Panthers are having to go out there and chase points, that means that they are going to get out a tendency from running the football. They're going to be chasing now, and they're probably going to be forced into some mistakes because I think when you are trying to chase after points, you're pressing. And I think that this is really where this defense can maybe take advantage of Andy Dalton. And that is now when he's pressing for points and they are going to the pass game exclusively, then this is where this defense is going to have to step up. And so even if you have a depleted line like the Washington Commanders have going into this game, that suggests that, because you're chasing after points, even if you're not getting pressure, you're going to have to try to complete some passes into some tight windows. And so this is the opportunity for a player like Mike Sanders still, and some of these guys out there in the secondary to go ahead and step up and create a turnover, which is something that the Washington Commanders have really struggled at. So they have an opportunity here to get turnovers and also to put some pressure on the Carolina Panthers just simply by doing what they have been doing on the offensive end, which is put up points. And so that leads me to the next point here. I think that Brian Robinson Jr. is going to play in this football game. And I think that this is huge because I've talked about, how the Commanders really got away from running the football last week. And so even if the Ravens, which we know were very good at taking away the run, you still have to continue to run the football. Okay. And so I think that is what the identity is of this Commanders team. And so, I think that they're going to need to lean in on this. I think that by doing so, what you're doing now is that you are getting this defense now to go ahead, push up into the box. That should open up some things as far as the play action is concerned. And when it comes down to blitzing, the Carolina Panthers, they love to blitz the quarterback, and Jaden Daniels has been very effective against the blitz. And in fact, look, he leads the NFL, I believe, still in completion percentage, and he's very good against the blitz. So, if you can get the Carolina Panthers to start to come up now, really be aggressive in trying to take away this run game, I think that this certainly will open up a lot of the things in the passing game for the Washington Commanders. So I think that is key number two, just going back to the identity and going ahead and letting, these running backs really eat, whether it's Brian Robinson Jr. or Austin Eckler. We need to run the football. And also, too, Jaden Daniels. I think that we got away from him, too, as well. So that brings me to the last point and the last, I think, key here to this game. And I think it's that the Washington Commanders really are going to have to stay focused in this one. Like, I think that this collectively as a team, you're going to have to lock in on your assignment because they're coming in. They are a favorite in this game. And I think that this is a game that it can get away from you, especially after, you had that emotional loss, I think, against the Ravens. I think that the Commanders were right there. And much like what they did in week one, I think that I saw a lot of good things, even though they lost the football game. But, there's a lot of noise now around the Washington Commanders. And there are a lot of people, in the media that are expecting the Commanders to really do something big this year. And that means that you have to focus in and you have to win the games that you're supposed to win. I mean, I think that that is really when teams start to take the next leap, whether it's like the 49ers, the Kansas City Chiefs, or, some of these teams that have gone deep in the playoffs or gone to the Super Bowl. You have got to have the ability to close games that you are supposed to in the National Football League. And this is absolutely a game that the Commanders are going to have to focus on, because the Carolina Panthers, look, they are a professional football team. I don't care about the record. I don't care what's going on with their quarterback situation where they benched Bryce Young. This team is going to come in and they're going to try to get a win. And so you had better be ready to go ahead and get this win from the Carolina Panthers, because they are not just going to give it to you. And so that means that, you're going to have to limit your mistakes. Certainly you don't want to be penalized on the offensive end, and, get backed up and give the Panthers some momentum there on the defensive end. That also too means that, taking care of business in the defensive assignments and things like that. Like, we cannot be in situations where we are having some blown coverages out here, and then you have Andy Dalton getting some chunk plays. And then lastly, too, we're going to have to really keep this Carolina Panthers team off schedule from getting these first downs, because we don't want them to get comfortable and continue to run the football. So that means that the Washington Commanders are going to need to come out and be just as aggressive as they have been the last couple of weeks. And so we do not need the offense to come out and be hesitant. We need to go at this team as if we are going into a playoff game. So we have got to take this thing seriously. And so with that being said, let me know in the comments what you think out of those 3 points, with Washington having to absolutely stay focused and locked in this week. We talked about the offense needing to help out the defense and really dictating pace and making the Carolina Panthers go out there and chase points. And lastly, we talked about getting back to your identity, running the football. That is exactly what has made the Washington Commanders very successful. You run first, then you're able to go down the field and really start to take this defense from side to side as they're guessing. And so once again, this is Washington Commanders Insider. We have one more show before it is game day Sunday. And so look, make sure that you're checking out the game. Make sure that you're coming back and subscribing here if you want to stay connected with everything going on around the Washington Commanders. All right, this is Rico and Washington Commanders Insider. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.